ago. It's officially not launching for 2 more weeks in Las Vegas. We're actually going to the Las Vegas convention, which is going to be just a blast. But that's where it officially is launched. But we've had tremendous success up until then. Like right now, like we didn't wait until the launch to start is basically what I'm saying. We've had so many people. In fact, I think I have some people coming just to share their results. We've got people down 80 pounds, 100 pounds, 120 pounds, 40 pounds. I mean, it's just crazy amounts of weight that people are losing, and then they're able to keep it off, which is a total blessing. So I always tell people, how long do we do this plan? How long?
For life.
Thanks, Margaret. We do this plan for the rest of our life. So the average American buys 4 diet books a year. Is that ever going to be you guys again?
No.
Negative ghostwriter. Say it with me. Negative ghostwriter.
Negative.
Yeah, you're not going to be buying any more diet books, because once you learn how to eat like this, even after you're done with the core innate system, you can still continue to use the shakes if you want, but ideally it's a lifestyle of eating right to stabilize your blood sugar so that your body's a fat burning machine. Okay, how many want their body to be a fat burning machine? Raise your hand. How many of you want your body to just be fat? Raise your hand. Okay, good. We're at the right place then. Let's go. All right, so I'm going to start a little bit about just like what Mynt is. So you guys, Mynt stands for My Nutrition. It's customizable nutrition. So really the core innate is a specific system to basically stabilize your blood sugar. Like I said, to turn your body into a fat burning machine. Here's the beauty of this. We have 3 boys. Many of you know they're 14, 8, and 6. And we all eat like this. Like, they didn't do the core innate system like when Scott and I got on it, but Scott and I are ready to do round 2. Where's Scott? He went back downstairs. I'm starting the core innate again on Monday. You know why? Because I can. I'm totally just doing it because I like to be in the game with everybody. Because as a coach, I feel like I can better coach when I'm like living it with you guys. And when you have questions, I can help answer them and that sort of thing. So the Mynt system is awesome. It basically is customizable nutrition. Let's get to here. The core transformation, so let's talk about that for a second. So it's all about like transforming yourself. How many of you haven't ordered anything yet? Raise your hand. 1. Melissa, welcome to the jungle. All right. She's so hot. All right, but the rest of you have got your products and you're basically here to learn more about how to use them. There's Barb. Barb, when did you get here?
I just snuck in the back.
Do you guys know that Barb was 220 pounds and is now 139?
Wow.
And actually, she's going to be on CNN. For those of you that don't know. Oh, she bought her fat pants. Get up here with those. Oh, my goodness.
Oh my God.
Take a picture of it! Post it on social
I was
media.
wearing these to work.
Can you freaking believe that?
These are a size 20. I was wearing these to work, and my jeans today are size 6.
Woo. Bam! Say that with me. Bam! That is awesome.
It works.
Yeah, it works. And so, tell them how long you've been living it. See, she did the reveal, and then she kind of got complacent, and then when the core innate came out, she's like, okay, I've got to get my head in the game, I'm going to do it again.
Yeah, well, the 220 was like 4 years ago, when I was 220 pounds. And then I lost a lot. It's really the same thought as this, protein, fat, carbohydrates, eating regularly every 3 hours. This just makes it easier. You get a plan with this. But I lost most of my weight like the first year. Then like she said, I got complacent. When I started the core innate again, I think I lost 30.
Yeah.
From the time I started that till now.
Yeah.
Because I was like 169.
Yeah.
I was getting back up.
Anyway, she's going to be on CNN, so we'll let you guys know when she's on CNN. She'll headline news.
But yeah,
we're going to want to tune in that day to see
it is. It's fun. It's easy, and I feel so much better. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, she's just hot. So she's here along the way. I'm going to bring Barb into the mix because she like lives this program. I said you should be a coach because you just live it day in and day out. She's just like eating like this. So a little bit about like the problem. A lot of you know this. The big problem, the price of soda in 20 years has gone down 40%. Well, the price of whole foods, fruits and vegetables has gone up 40%. It's like the opposite of what we want to happen, right? I sometimes feel like when you go through fast food, if you don't supersize it because it's the same price as a small, you're an idiot. They make you feel like that, right? Mm-hmm. You're going through the drive-thru, you can get a small, medium, and large, and the small and the extra large are the same price. Which one would you like? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so this is our country that we live in. They've made it super accessible and easy and cheap to really get unhealthy fast. And so 69% of the adult population in the U.S. is either overweight or obese. They say by 2020 that number is going to be 80%. 8 out of 10 people will be either obese or overweight. We have so many great testimonies at the exercise class. In fact, Jana, maybe some of you saw I posted her this week sometime, but Jana was on tons of medications. And she was able to get, she is now on Friday, was it Friday at class? Yes. Or Saturday morning? Saturday morning. She said, I'm 100% off of every single one of my meds, every single one of them, she was taking I don't know if anybody guys know about insulin, but insulin's like what you give yourself to basically bring down your blood sugar. She was taking 220 units a day, which is a lot of insulin for a diabetic. 220 units a day. She's 100% off her insulin. So again, we don't think this works. We know this works. It's just a matter of if you're going to make it work. And like I say, I never neg, beg, or drag. I'm like, if you're ready, let's rock. And if not, I can lead you to church. And when you're ready, then we'll lead you to health too, right? I'm like, I tell some of these people on my team, don't lead them to health. They have too much work they got to do. They might just need like the savior. All right, simple solution. The truth is we eat too infrequently. How many of you think you eat not often enough? Raise your hand. Like maybe you eat once a day or twice a day. And we're kind of that crazy country that says, I only sleep 5 hours a night. We kind of pride ourselves on that. Or we say, I only eat 2 times a day. I don't understand why I'm not losing weight. How many of you have heard that before? So with this, the biggest thing that's going to have to happen before you transform your body is you're going to have to transform your mind. Because we've been taught as America to undereat, right, to lose weight. Starve ourselves fat, I call it now. We're starving ourselves fat. Our metabolisms are sitting in the toilet because we've not, there's no fire in the furnace anymore, and we're over-exercising. So we think to lose weight, I'm going to undereat, I'm going to eat 1,200 calories a day, and I'm going to lose weight. I have these broads that have been coming up from Gold's Gym. I've been weighing and measuring them, and a couple of them are 100 pounds overweight. And I said, they were like, yeah, but I've been working out for 3 months with this trainer for $400 a month. I'm like, well, how's that working out? Well, I've lost a couple inches. I'm like, listen, when you're 100 pounds overweight, and you're at Gold's Gym for 3 months, and you don't lose a pound, get the hell out. That's my advice. I'm like, and I said, what is your trainer telling you to eat? My trainer just told me stick with 1,200 calories a day. Are you kidding me? I'm like, how is that working out for you after 3 months? You haven't lost a pound. She's like, yeah. So I've realized as Americans, we need to switch that. We have to have that mind switch, that mind flip where we say, you know what? I'm going to eat a lot to lose weight. Say that with me. I'm going to eat a lot to lose weight. Say it with some of you not believing that yet. I'm going to eat a lot to lose weight. Okay, so I want you to remember something. PFC every 3 like a baby. Okay, say that with me. And make them like a baby, kind of like a baby. You know what I mean? Okay, PFC every 3 like a baby. Make the face kind of. You'll remember it then, seriously. But the PFC, and if you can't remember that, because someone was saying to me, was it PCF? And I'm like, no, just think, not KFC, PFC, like it rhymes. Okay, so PFC, every 3 like a baby. So protein, fat, carbohydrate, every 3 hours, small portion sizes like a baby. Okay, so we're eating all the time. And so this is the truth. We eat too infrequently, we make 4 food choices, and generally we eat the wrong nutrients in the wrong quantities at the wrong times. You know, I love this program because there's a lot of systems out there. There's a lot of programs out there. Like, think about like Weight Watchers, great program, but the problem is okay, I want you to eat 20 points a day. Some people go down and get a Big Mac and fries. That's their 20 points a day. That day, they don't eat the rest of the day. That's a problem. You should not be patting yourself on the back for eating only once or twice a day and thinking that you're a hero. I'm here to tell you, your metabolism is taking a crap. Like, we need to get our heads in the game and start eating for performance, eating every 3 hours, all right? So this is the Detox, Ignite, Thrive. We're going to specifically talk just about that because that's why you're all here. Detoxing is the first week. If you have, does anyone know anybody that has more than 50 pounds to lose? Raise your hand. Okay, if you have more than 50 pounds to lose, or if you have more than 50 pounds to lose, you can do it for 2 weeks. You can cleanse for 2 weeks. If you're a smoker, you definitely should do the cleanse for 2 weeks, okay? And if you're a drinker, which a lot of people are like, I'm not a drinker, but I've been drinking more now because it's the holidays. I kind of been a drinker over Christmas here. But anyway, if you're drinking more than 3 alcoholic beverages a week, they say you should do the detox for 2 weeks. So that's kind of the protocol there. 1, 2, 3. Over 50 pounds to lose, smoker, or drink more than 3 alcoholic beverages a week, then you can do the cleanse for 2 weeks, okay? Other than that, most people are just doing it for 1 week. And I'll show you exactly what the cleanse is in a second. Ignite is weeks generally 2 through 8. That is really where you turn up the burn. You get to exercise during that period. During detox, you don't exercise. And for 2 reasons, really, because you're trying to get rid of all the inflammation in your body. And when you exercise, it actually creates heat. So like when I'm doing jump squats at my exercise class, heat's being created in my quads. The next day I'm sore, right? And so that is not what we want during detox week. We're trying to get rid of all the heat in our body, all the inflammation. Another thing is, I don't want you really doing exercise when you're on the detox because you might crap your pants. So, oops, I crap my pants. Remember this? You guys remember the Saturday Night Live skit? Oops, I crap my pants. And I've had some people that do detox, and they come to my class, and I'm like, listen, you need to stand in the back of the room and run fast. I'm like, we don't want to be cleaning anything up. So, ideally, here's what the program does. It cleanses your kidneys, liver, and colon. So, are you going to poop a lot? Yeah. Some people say, is that good? Well, would you rather have it inside of you? You know, cleansing your body, I always think this. If you're going to detox, because I've had several people say, well, do I need to do the detox? Can't I just do the other part? I'm like, would you ever climb into dirty bath water? I'm like, we need to drain the tub, sister. Like, get rid of the dirty bath water, lay down that clean foundation of great nutrition, and let's go from there. Because then you're really kickstarting your metabolic rate. I wish Monica Hannon was here because she's got a great testimony about just her metabolic rate. Because she was 54. It took a couple months for her to get rocking with this, but she did the coronate system. And now is down, 30 pounds, 48 inches of fat. But the crazy thing is she came to me the 4th month finally. And I always said, Monica, you know how you know your metabolism is slow? When you wake up in the morning and you're not hungry. If any of you wake up in the morning and say, I'm not really that hungry, I don't need to eat breakfast, that tells me you have a slow metabolic rate. When you wake up in the morning, it's called breakfast. Break the fast. You're breaking the fast from the nighttime of sleeping. You're supposed to put the log in the furnace, boom, it's supposed to heat up. It's called the thermic effect of a meal, and you're supposed to actually burn more fat when you eat, right away the first thing in the morning. So if you're saying, well, I have a Diet Coke or a Starbucks, and then I finally eat about 11, that is a slow metabolic rate. And after 4 months, Monica came back, and she said, you're never going to believe this. Weigh me, she said. I said, why, what's going on? She said, I know I'm down weight this week. I said, did you weigh yourself at home? She said, no, I know I'm down. She said, I've been waking up at 4:30 a.m. starving. And that was incredible because when she came the first time, she said, I usually don't eat anything. I have about 2, 3, 4, 5 Diet Cokes until 11:30. And then at 11:30, I finally eat, and I'm really not even that hungry then, Renita. And I said, that tells me that we got to kickstart your metabolic rate. So at 54, she kickstarted. It took about 4 months. She showed up at 4:30. She stepped on the scale that week. We were 4 months into it. And she was down 5 pounds that week. Wow. And so her metabolism's been cranking ever since. Not skipping a meal, totally waking up in the morning eating. So that's a big indicator that and another big indicator that your metabolism is revving up is you'll lay in bed at night and you'll just be hot. And you're not having a hot flash. you're like stripping down and you're thinking, what is going on? Metabolism is actually cranked up. And so that is a good thing. So if you're laying in bed sweating, just get a little more undressed. Don't put the heating blanket on that night. You'll be fine. All right. Detox, we cut the foods that are causing you to bloat. How many of you feel bloated after Christmas? I like to measure necks, because I feel like people's faces are just fat, and then we have them detox, and boom! And I say fat in the nicest of ways. I want you to know this. I think that fat is an acronym that stands far away from the truth of where God truly wants us. We're all created so awesome in His image, and we got to get back to that. We got to get back to being health and vitality to get out and serve our families and our communities, period. So we can't keep living in this, like, I don't care how my health is. No, we got to care how our health is because we might have to run in the end. I don't know. But anyway, cut foods that cause the bloating, clean your digestive system, flush with lots and lots of water. So during the detox, you are taking in huge amounts of water to flush through those toxins. If your gut hurts, if you have some stomach pains, drink more water. That's my advice to you because you're going to push that through your system faster if you have more water versus being dehydrated. Ignite, like I said, weeks 2 through 8. That's where you're burning the body fat. You get to take that awesome supplement called the Burn. How many of you like that? Raise your hand. I love the Burn. Sonia, do you love the Burn? I mean, I love the Burn. It doesn't make me jittery or crazy because I'm already that. I think it kind of makes me it just makes me sharp. Like I take that and I'm like, let's rock. You know, I feel like it makes me really focused. And it gives you a little bit of energy. I always tell people it's a great pre-workout. So if you know you're going to go work out, and people are looking for pre-workouts, take it before you go work out. You'll feel like your workout is much more effective. Sculpt and tone, you get to work out during that phase. And then restore the healthy bacteria. There's actually, in your kit that you get, there's something called ProBio. It's a probiotic. So after we cleanse the entire digestive system, boom, we want to lay down that natural good gut flora. And that's your probiotic, okay? So that's during the Ignite as well. And then the Thrive, we're just reprogramming. Eventually you just live like this. Our whole family just lives like. Barb, do you live like this? Yes. I mean, what do you think the biggest change is for you? I never forget when Barb said, Renita, I don't cook. I eat out 11 times a week. That's what you told me.
I think it was 8, Renita.
Okay.
Don't exaggerate.
She ate out 8 times a week. So tell them what the biggest thing for you has been.
I had to learn how to cook at home. And I don't ever cook anything really fancy because I am not a chef. But I've learned chicken breasts are my friends. And just the lean, clean proteins. People say, oh no, carbohydrates. Don't eat carbohydrates are good if you use fruits and vegetables for your carbs instead of the pasta and the bread, and so I'm now cooking at home. My husband's meds have gone down too. He doesn't try. I mean, he's not doing this. Even though he sees the success I'm having,
He just likes you being hot.
yeah, but he's on cholesterol meds and high blood pressure meds and whatever, but his doctor told him his numbers were the best he's seen in a long time, just because now at home I'm cooking
For him too.
chicken, and he's got to eat what I cook.
Right.
So we get, chicken or bison, or, I don't like fish. I'm sorry, I don't cook a lot of fish, but that's another really good one.
Yep.
And vegetables, and that's what you get for supper now, instead of going through Big Boy and getting...
Gravy. Okay, to stick that gravy right here.
He used to drink the gravy. If there was
Yeah.
leftover, he would
Not
drink
good for the home
it.
team.
No.
Drinking the gravy is never good for the home team. I'm here to tell you. All right. Okay, so exactly. So are you going to have to cook on this? Yeah, because you know what it is? It's whole food eating. And eventually, if it's not now, then when are you going to start to be cooking for yourself? If it's not,
I love my George Foreman.
yeah.
I just chicken breasts on there, or bison burgers or something.
George Foreman, and I love my muffin maker, my cupcake maker. I use it for eggs. I use it for cupcake muffins, like with protein powder. They're excellent. So we'll talk about that later. Core shakes. So those of you who know the core shakes, there's vanilla bean, there's chocolate. The True Cell is a slower digesting protein. So a lot of proteins will digest very quickly. This is a very slow releasing, so you feel fuller longer. It is gluten free. How many of you know about gluten intolerance? Okay, some of you. How many of you care? Raise your hand.
Well, I have a 5-year-old niece who's celiac.
Yeah,
And she's 5 years old. I mean, she hasn't even gotten to love gluten like a lot of us. And we've had to cut it. I mean, our holidays, we are really careful with.
Mom, how's the gluten?
It's working.
It's working?
Yes.
What's working?
Oh, cut out the gluten.
Cut out the gluten. This is my mom's motto. What is the gluten inside your belly?
Fat.
No, not fat. Dough.
Oh, dough, yes.
Yeah, she said to me one day, I can just feel that dough rising.
It's glue.
It's glue. Gluten is the Greek word for glue. Yeah. So let's get rid of the gluten. And then I always say that, they kind of messed us up in grade school because they taught us that food guide pyramid. Do you guys remember that bad boy? It looked like that. And then the bottom was 6 to 11 servings of carbohydrates. Do you remember that base? Well, who made the food guide pyramid, kids? USDA. You know who they are? The United States Department of Agriculture. What do they want you to eat?
Wheat.
Grain! Wheats! So they're like, pour on the wheat, 6 to 11. I mean, if the milk commission would have done it, they probably would have done 6 to 11 servings of milk. Right, but it was the grains, and so as you looked up, remember as kids we used to see like the fruits and vegetables up here? It said like 3 to 4. It skewed us in our minds to think that carbohydrates are not fruits and vegetables. I'm here to tell you, 100% of fruits and vegetables are carbohydrates. So here's how you want to think of carbohydrates. When I say PFC every 3 like a baby, PFC, the C is carbohydrates, and for the next 8 weeks I want you to think of carbohydrates as color. So living color. So think of fruits and vegetables right here, and then think of a big pile of white rice with a big thing of dough, okay? Glue. Rising, right, Mom? So let's imagine those two things. I always think of this. Carbohydrates that are living, like the fruits and vegetables, they actually have living vitamins and minerals and enzymes that our body needs. A lot of times these dead carbohydrates over here don't have really anything other than carbs. So they're an energy source. You feel good after you eat them for a little bit, but then guess what happens? It's gone. If you're eating the living carbs over here, not only are you getting the sugar from it, the healthy sugars, but you're also getting the vitamins and minerals and enzymes to break everything else down. So for the next 8 weeks, your C is color, and that means fruits and vegetables, okay?
I have another question
go
Renee,
ahead.
about carbohydrates and digestion. And I don't know, but I feel like if I eat fruits and vegetables, my body digests those more easily than if I eat the pasta or
Absolutely.
the bread or something. It's like I don't feel so great after that, but the fruits and vegetables, it's like my body uses that.
Absolutely. And like, you think about bread, what gives, the gluten is what gives bread the rise. You guys know that, right? So the higher and the fluffier the bread, usually the more gluten. Like in the olden days, they had, what was they called it? Unleavened bread, right? There wasn't gluten in that. And they were like knocking the wheat between rocks, So what happened is process. Pretty soon we eat it, our bodies don't even have to really work that hard to break it down, and it literally becomes sludge in our system where it's not being passed through because there's no dietary fiber to push it through. It just sits like a chunk of dough, literally, in our guts. So we really want to get away from the gluten, but can you eventually add some of it back in? Yeah, I still eat bread. How many times a day, Scott, do I eat bread?
The gluten-free bread you eat.
Yeah, every day, like 2 or 3 times a day. I'm like crazy about, I have a 2 hard-boiled eggs with a piece of this gluten-free bread, which I'll tell you guys about. It's awesome! And you guys can go grocery shopping with me on the 16th. It's a Wednesday night. I don't know, you have to look at your calendar. 15th, 16th, or 17th. It's a Wednesday of that week. We're going grocery shopping at Cash Buy, so it's a free trip where you get to learn how to read labels and do things like that if you're interested. Anyway, these are the core boosts. The cleanse is what you take week 1. The burn is what you take along with the ProBio weeks 2 through 8. And those of you, I don't think that build came in your kits, but if you're interested in building lean muscle, after you hit your goal weight, you can start to take the build. And the build helps to gain lean muscle. Or for people that want to actually gain weight, period. We actually, 2% of our population wants to gain weight. And so that would be great for those weight gainers that want to put on some pounds, that are just really fine bone. This is Michelle Totten. She's a friend of ours. I've actually done a tasting party in her house in Minnesota. She's an awesome gal. But has even lost more weight since this picture. But living life in the Thrive phase. $298. Many of you got in on that special right now. It's $268. I think it's until January 8th or 9th is when that special ends. So, I mean, get it now. So, order your core, set your goals. Okay, so we're done with all that. Let's get back to this. Here we go. You guys ready? Do you have questions so far? What's the motto? PFC?
Every like a baby.
Okay, I just want you to start saying that again and again and again, because eventually you're going to be like, okay, Renita, I got it. It's easy. You'll be like, bingo. Where's Safari? Here, let's go. Okay, so when you go to coronate.com, if you guys have not done this, hey, Scotty, would you go to the printer? I got a stack of papers with the blood sugar stabilization chart. Okay. Would you go there and do that for me real quick? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys something. Before I do that, I'll go to this. And Scott's going to bring a little bigger chart for this. Can you guys kind of see that? I'll read it to you if you can't read it. Okay, so this is the whole idea that the entire program is based on. And some of you have heard this again, but repetition is good for the developing mind. So homeostasis is like where your body functions the best. And like we learned this like in the 8th grade or something, right? Do you guys remember the word homeostasis? It's like when you're in homeostasis, you're balanced. You function well, your body's disease-free, you have great vitality, you have great focus, your energy is up. What happens is a lot of people with their blood sugar, and if you've never heard of blood sugar before, it's how much sugar is in your blood, okay? And it's not just for diabetics to know. It really is a major, major crucial part, like our temperature of our body. When our temperature is too high, we know our body's fighting something. When your blood sugar's off, it affects all the systems of your body, right down to your hormones. Like Mark says in his book, he says that when your blood sugar is stable, it even stabilizes your hormones. I told Scott, I think we're going to save marriages with this plan. I said, because women aren't going to be like this, you know, the wives and husbands aren't going to be at each other's throats because they're going to be feeling so good in balanced blood sugar. So what happens with most people, though, is they go too long without eating, like we discussed earlier. Maybe they skip breakfast because they're not hungry, which they've trained themselves to be. Thanks, Margaret. Yeah. When it drops below 80, your blood sugar, you want to be 80 to 120, okay? 80 to 120 is your sweet spot. Have any of you had your blood sugar taken? Never?
Not lately.
Okay. So you want to be between 80 and 120 because that's where your body is going to burn fat efficiently. If you are at 80 to 120, you naturally just burn fat. You can be sleeping, you're burning fat. You can be exercising, you can be burning fat. You can be sitting here and you're actually burning fat. The problem is people don't live with balanced blood sugar. They let it crash. And when your blood sugar crashes, how do you feel?
Nauseated.
Nauseated, good job.
Angry.
Hangry. So that's hungry and angry mixed together, you know. And kids just cry when their blood sugar gets low. You can't argue with a crying kid that has low blood sugar. You can't teach them a lesson at that point. You got to feed them. Okay? So sometimes I think adults want to cry, but we don't. We just turn, you know, into rags or bitches or whatever they want to call it. So what happens when it drops too low is you feel like heck. Like you just don't want to do anything. You're lethargic. I stop talking. You know instantly when my blood sugar is low because I'll just like this. And I never stop talking. So that's really, really a sign for me. Some people get shaky. Some people start sweating. Some people get a little headache. They're like, geez, I'm starting to get a headache. Usually it's because of low blood sugar, okay? What happens then is people generally at that point, I always say, don't wait until you're down here to make a healthy decision because you're probably going to choose wrong. Because when you're down there, your body innately knows you're going to need sugar right now or you could go into a diabetic coma, okay? It's possible. Have you ever met anybody with diabetes that has gone into a coma?
Not a coma, but close to.
Oh my gosh, I've been around those people. I used to work at the Midtown restaurant when I was a kid. I remember being 14 and this guy came in. He couldn't even put a sentence together and his wife said, give me a glass of Coke now. And he was looking at me. He didn't know my name and I was talking to him. I'm like, this is so weird. And it stands out so readily in my mind, but his blood sugar was tanking. He was very, very, very low to the point where he was literally going to pass out any second. So he drank a Coke. So at that point, generally when people are so low, they don't reach for almonds or salmon. They reach for a carbohydrate because your body says, I need something and I need it now. And bam, at that point, anytime you are going to consume something, at that point, it's generally a lot of times going to be a simple carbohydrate because you just know you need the energy and it's going to spike it up past 120. Well, anytime you put anything into your mouth and your blood sugar is over 120, it's basically being stored as fat. It can be a banana, you guys. A banana will spike your blood sugar and it'll be stored as fat. I know that just sounds obscene. It's the truth. So here's the deal. When you blow, and this chart is actually taken from Mark McDonald's book called Body Confidence. I am a certified nutrition coach through his program. You don't have to be to talk about this with people. Margaret has signed up 15 people, and she's not a nutrition coach, but you probably could be one, Margaret. You are a coach. I know that about you. And so the beauty is that in his book, he talks about the whole thing where when your blood sugar is below 80, when you skip a meal, you restrict your calories or carbs, or people that exercise on an empty stomach, which I was guilty for. I've been teaching fitness for 20 years.
And we still see it at our classes. And
All
we
the
have to
time.
have food on hand because these people are sitting down with their heads between their
They're
knees.
green.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can tell them 100 million times, eat before you come, eat before you come. And for some reason, they think that they just know better. And I'm like, listen, at this point, you don't know any better, honey. And here's what, because that workout sucks. When you feel nauseated the whole time and you're going to the bathroom 3 times to puke, how much are you really getting out of that workout? I tell you what, after Mark taught me this, he said, when your blood sugar is dropping down here, Renita, when you're skipping a meal or restricting calories or not eating before you go exercise about 20 to 30 minutes before, right here it says it, your blood sugar drops, your body burns your muscle. How many people know that we don't want to burn muscle? Raise your hand. Everybody flex your muscle. Flex it. Inside of each one of these little muscles is like a little fireplace. It's like an engine, baby, inside of each one of those guns. That is like a furnace. And so what happens is if I have a pound of muscle laying here, a pound of muscle burns about 50 calories in a day, and a pound of fat burns nothing. It's like flabby. It's like blubber. It's disgusting. Muscle is like heating up. It heats up your whole body. It protects your bones. For women that are smaller boned, we need muscle. I need as much muscle as I can. My grandmother had osteoporosis. I need to maintain my lean muscle. So we don't want to burn our muscle. That's the stuff that keeps our metabolisms long term. Dr. Oz just said the other day, the number one thing to slow down the effects of aging, build some lean muscle. That's what he said on his show. I'm like, bam! Take that, America! Okay? Body burns muscle, holds on. So when you drop too low, your body's burning your lean muscle, and it's holding on to that fat. Because it's saying, you know what? I can't let this fat go. I don't know if you're going to feed me. I might have to conserve this so I don't die. Right? And your energy crashes and your cravings increase. At that point, you're going to choose wrong. What happens when you're above 120, like I said, you have too many calories. This is the problem with people eating only 2 meals a day and these huge, ginormous meals. The problem is that when they do that, too many carbs or calories per meal, your blood sugar spikes, and anytime it's over 120, it's being stored as fat. I'm going to give you 2 examples of that out of real life so you can understand this. Margaret's going to be one of them. I'm going to tell you one of my own. When Mark first came into the mix, I talked to him on the phone for about 2 hours when he first came into Mynt and Montague, because we had been rocking it up here. We'd lost 30,000 pounds of fat with the reveal, and part of it was because I just like to educate people. I had parties like this twice a week. And so everybody was not just like getting skinny, they were learning how to be well, like long term for the rest of their lives. And so Mark got on the horn with me, and I'm like, I got off the phone that day and I said to Scott, I'm convinced this guy thinks it's all about blood sugar. He thinks that's the magic. I mean, he's as fired up about blood sugar as I am about just God and being well, like people getting healthy. And so I thought, I'm going to go buy one of those prickers. Those little pricker thingies, you know, blood sugar tester thing. So I went down to CVS and I just got the cheapest one because I'm like, I'm going to test the theory, you know. And I was so scared. I carried that thing around for a while because I'm like, I can't prick myself. And so finally we were down in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho with Mike and Angie.
So she's pricking me, pricking our kids.
Yeah. It's true, I was pricking the boys. Anyway, it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, so we were down in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and Mike and Andrew were down there. He's got this big wellness facility. And I said, okay, let's test the theory. Let's test this theory. Let's prick ourselves and let's see what our blood sugar is. So we ate popcorn, and people think popcorn, that's a healthy snack, right? Oh, I ate popcorn. People say, I snack healthy, I eat popcorn. Okay, well, popcorn's like carbohydrate. It does have some dietary fiber in it, which slows down the rate of absorption, but it's mostly carbohydrate, right? And so we ate the popcorn, and we're measuring our blood sugar 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and 2 hours later. And 1 hour later, and I'm thinking, my body's like a fat-burning machine. Like, I'm high functioning. That blood sugar is going to be like 100 or whatever. I'm like wishful thinking, right? Prick myself an hour later, my blood sugar is 139. I'm like, what? 139? I'm like, it can't be. And I knew this because I had seen this chart, 80 to 120. That's where you want to be a fat-burning machine. I'm like, this is not right. So then we said, let's test the theory again. And we waited a couple hours, of course, and I drank a protein shake. At the time it was Reveal, now it would be Core protein shake. And then we ate the same amount of popcorn, and then we tested our blood sugar 1 hour later, and my blood sugar was 109. just from eating that protein before my popcorn. I was like, that freaking Mark McDonald is right. I couldn't believe it because I had never seen that before. And some people say, well, should I go buy a pricker? I'm like, only if you just want to do that. Like, usually you can tell when your blood sugar gets low and you can tell when your blood sugar gets high, right? When you're low, you feel lethargic naturally. And when it's high, you eat a banana, woo! You feel great. 5 minutes later, bam! It takes that's why people live rock star to rock star, or Coca-Cola to Coca-Cola, because it's like these peaks and valleys that are going on. Okay, Margaret, tell them what happened with you, because she came and she didn't start I'm sweating so bad, I can feel sweat running down my back. She came and you weren't starting the core quite yet, but what happened? Right before Thanksgiving.
Before Thanksgiving.
The week before Thanksgiving they came.
So I've been coming probably like 3 years and listening to Renita. I'm like, this lady's going crazy. All this stuff. Anyway, we start listening to this, and for some reason, my sister and I were here, and I got it. So I was like, well, I'm going to try this PFC every 3 and see what happens.
Like a baby.
Like a baby. Yeah.
During Thanksgiving, because my mom cooks and there's food as much as this room, and that's all we do is eat. So everything I did, I didn't order the shake yet. I started eating. I ate turkey. You know?
I said just have turkey before you have your carb.
Yep.
I said have turkey, mashed potatoes. 3 hours later have turkey and dressing. And 3 hours later have turkey and pie. Like, just don't eat 2 huge meals because you're at grandma's or mom's house. Have 7 meals and just have turkey with this. A little bit later, turkey with this. A little bit later, turkey with it, right? I said just do that once and see if it works.
And I did it and came back the following week and I lost.
So she came and she measured on a Saturday.
Yep.
And then Thanksgiving was on a Thursday.
Yep.
And then Black Friday morning, these guys showed up at exercise class and she goes, let me just see where I'm at. I've just been doing what you told me, Renita, the PFC every 3, before her core kit even came. She stepped on the scale. Were you down 8 or 9?
9.
9 pounds that morning. This is from Saturday to Friday. Thanksgiving was Thursday. You guys see what I'm saying? Just eating the PFC every 3, just being conscious and saying, I'm not going to eat 2 big meals. And you said, at one point she said, tell them what you ate. Turkey and then
I ate the turkey, and then usually I love stuffing. My mom has the best stuffing, and I just took as much as my hand. I used what the book says, the PFC in the hand, the carb, the fat. I did it exactly that way, and I was satisfied. Otherwise I just pile up.
But at the end she had turkey, and then she said I had a piece of pie, but actually I had 2 pieces.
2
right?
pieces of pie.
She had a turkey with 2 pieces of pie, and she still lost 9 pounds. Your body burns through it so. She had 2 pieces. Okay, so your body burns through it so much faster. Okay, when you guys have that protein first. You guys understand those 2 scenarios where I'm saying don't just eat a carbohydrate. Do everything in your power to eat the protein first. It's super simple, right? It just becomes a way of life eventually. But America is set up to kind of fail us because when you go to like the Olive Garden, they bring out those breads, right? Or when you go to Ground Round, they bring out the popcorn. Every place you go brings out the bread or the carb first. And like our country, the reason we're fat, sick, and nearly dead is it's ass backwards. Like we totally need to have the protein first. So when you go out to eat, order the chicken satay skewers or the edamame or something. Like get some, or even when people go out to celebrate, what do they have first? Bring me a beer, bring me a glass of wine. They have a carbohydrate first. On Mark's plan, after the 8 weeks, you can even consume alcohol. Some people say, can I consume alcohol in this? And I'm like, with the rest of your life, or if you're going to have a beer once in a while, sure. But what you want to do is you always want to have a protein before you have the beer. Or like if you're going to have a glass of wine, have some chicken skewers first before you drink your wine. It'll stabilize your blood sugar. I am telling you what, we don't think this works. We know it does. Like, this is not like, I hope you guys buy into this. And I am like, if you do get it, praise the Lord, you'll be healthy for the rest of your life and you'll be thin and ripped. And if you decide not to, okay, good luck with 1,500 more diets until you figure it out. Okay? Get on track with this thing because it works. Barb, do you want to say anything else about that while I pull up the plans so they see
I
it?
don't know, do they want to see my fat picture?
Yeah.
How many people do you know take a picture of their very own self and have it laminated poster size?
Barb did. Oh, look at Barb. Look at her face. Don't make her take off her shirt and flex.
No, but I can.
Yeah. Isn't
Oh,
yeah?
I
Can you
love it when
believe
she
that?
flexes.
Yeah. Have you guys seen her flex muscles? Like,
Okay,
put 'em on
awesome.
Facebook.
Let's
Just pull it up.
I
Pull
gotta
it
see
up.
these biceps because they rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can happen. You just have to really want it bad enough, and you have to put in the time. And and really, it's not. It's what do I want to say? It's not easy, but it's simple. It is so simple. It's the hard part is getting past your habits.
You get past the habits of starving yourself and over-exercising to lose weight.
Right.
Because you have to, some people say, I remember this one guy came to my house recently. I was weighing and measuring and he said, Bernita, I have been eating nonstop since my last weigh-in. I've been doing everything you told me, but it was like nonstop eating. He goes, I am going to be like up like 20 pounds. I'm like, have you weighed yourself? He's like, no, because my rule is you can't weigh yourself between the weigh-ins with me. Like, my scale is like the golden rule. Okay, so throw that other one out. If you have a problem with stepping on that, bring it to me. I'll keep my garage until we're done here. Okay? I'm not kidding. We'll label it, so you'll be fine. But anyway, the point is he got on the scale and he was down 9 pounds. And he said to me, how does that work? He said, how was I eating more than I've ever ate in my whole life, and I'm down 9 pounds? He goes, Renita, I went from eating once a day to literally eating 7 times a day, and I'm down 9 pounds. I'm like, exactly, you were starving yourself. So think of your metabolism. This is the last thing I'm going to tell you, and then we're going to get to the plan. Think of your metabolism like a fireplace. Like I have the one burning downstairs. Okay, so your metabolism is a fireplace. And if I put a piece of paper in the fireplace, what happens? You might feel good for a second. Woo! It's a flash in the pan, right? That's like putting a carbohydrate in your body. Woo! You feel great, and then it crashes. Now what happens if I have a fireplace and I put a log in? Burn and burn and burn. That's a PFC. That's what a PFC looks like in our bodies. Our metabolisms are actually like a fireplace. It's a furnace. And we got to heat it up by doing that PFC every 3 all the time. And when you just live like that, it's just incredible what happens to your body. Okay, so for those of you who haven't seen the meal plan yet, you can go to coronate.com/the ID number of the person that invited you to this party. You can go there, or you can just go to coronate.com to get the meal plan. Along the top, when you're at coronate.com, it'll say downloads. Right along the top, I just clicked on downloads. Okay, and there's going to be a bunch of different downloads. I can download Detox, I can download Ignite, and as I go through here, the foods that we're cutting, cleaning, and flushing, we talked about that. So the foods that we're cutting, it's pretty simple. Like we're cutting gluten, soy, and here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're on a soy protein right now, get off of it. Get off of it. Get off of it. You know why? Soy is very estrogen producing. And unless you want man boobs, if you're a man, then keep drinking. And if you want a big fat belly, if you're a woman, keep drinking the soy. Okay, because that's what soy is going to do for you. But guess what? Soy is the cheapest protein powder. So when you go to GNC, when you go to Walmart, Target, most of them, the first base is soy protein. And not only is it very estrogen producing, it's the highest genetically modified crop along with corn. And so I'm here to tell you, when you're buying a $15 bag of protein powder, it's genetically modified. And so you don't want to be consuming that. There's a lot of gross fillers in those bags, and who knows what you're getting, okay? So get rid of the soy, get rid of the cheese and the yogurt, refined sugar, sugar sweeteners, salt, grains. There's that food guide pyramid. Soda, diet and regular, alcohol, coffee and tea. Also cut the exercises for the detox phase, all right? Those are all the things. And I'm going to be honest with you. As closely as you adhere to this are as great as your results are going to be. That's how it is. If it's on the list, consume it. If it's not on the list, don't eat it, okay? And part of this is just creating a little habit of discipline within yourself of what you're putting in your mouth. And you know what it really makes you? This is why I think the program works so well. It makes you 100% accountable and conscious of what you're putting in your mouth. Because if you're eating on plan, as I go down here, I'm going to teach you guys this, but as if I looked at the exact meal plan, it tells me what to have for breakfast. It tells me what to have for my mid-morning. It tells me what to have. So you're super accountable. And at first, this will seem foreign if you're used to eating only twice a day, or skipping meals, or used to eating out a lot. This might seem really weird. You might think to yourself, what am I, like this is bizarre. But after doing it a while, I mean, we are either made or destroyed by our habits, period, in life.
Another thing I want to, I'm sorry, Renita, but planning is huge. Huge. So if you think you're just going to jump into this, and I'll just do this and it'll be easy, you have to plan like your week's meals and snacks and everything ahead of time. I go to work and I have a little fridge, thank gosh, at my desk. But I had to pack all my stuff to bring, because if I didn't, I'd be sitting there with not the right things to eat, or I'd have to go down to the cafeteria. Or you have to plan.
And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't take that long.
No.
Like, some people think, oh my gosh, I don't have time to do that. I'm like, well, then do you have time to stay fat? I'm like, let's go.
It's like once a week. I mean, if I would make like a bunch of chicken breasts or something, and then, cut them in the sizes I needed, and I'd package them up in little Ziplocs, and then when it was, I would take those with to work or whatever, in a little bag of steamed vegetables that I would just, but you have to be ready for it. You have to plan.
So Sunday, boil eggs,
Yeah.
cook up the chicken breast, cook up your ground turkey or whatever you're using, your ground bison. Cook all that up on Sunday so you're ready to rock for the rest of the week. Okay? So, don't be waiting until Monday night to think, geez, what am I going to eat? You know what I mean? You have got to be prepared for this. And it doesn't take that long. It takes a little. Doing 2 hours on a Sunday will set you up for the entire week. Honestly, it will. Margaret said, I learned what baggies were. I never used baggies before this, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
She's like, I put everything in little baggies. I'm like, perfect. If that's what it takes, and some people say, do I have to measure it? If you want to be that accurate, you can. You can go buy a scale at Target or TJ Maxx for $8 and measure your food one time. Because you know what? It's not gonna kill you. We spent $8 on stupider things. And you measure your food and you might think, holy crap, I was eating 16 ounces of beef and this is what 5 ounces looks like. Were you ever a kid and you ate a bowl of cereal and was it in a Tupperware bowl? Did you guys ever do that? You had a bowl of cereal. I remember my brother Randy, like when he bowls of cereal in like these Tupperware things and he would just, and I'm like, that was like 17 servings. You know what I mean? And so measuring your food one time is a good thing. So Mark's thing, if you don't want to go get the scale, let's all do this together. So the females are in pink, the males are in blue. So the protein, fat, carb, PFC every 3. I'm going to tell you what, this is so awesome that you're here. Praise the Lord that you're here because I went to St. Mary's School a couple weeks ago and I was educating the 6th graders. And the 6th graders couldn't, not one 6th grader could tell me what a carbohydrate was. It was incredible. I'm like, come on guys. Like I was like, you know, and no one could name a carbohydrate. And I thought, you know what, if our kids don't know this by the 6th grade, no wonder we have an obesity crisis in our country. It's time to get our heads in the game and start educating this stuff on the home front. Seriously. All right, so females are the palm. So I think protein palm. Okay, protein palm. You see that? Protein palm. So people, do you guys know what a protein is? What's a protein? Name some proteins. Chicken.
Turkey, fish.
Turkey, fish.
Eggs.
Eggs. Egg whites. Bison. What else? Venison, all wild game. You know, that's good. They can't catch them to vaccinate them. All right, so that's the protein. Okay, females, you get a 1 palm. Men, what do you get? Little cuties, a palm and a half. See that? Palm and a half. Carbohydrates. What's carbohydrates?
Fruits and vegetables.
Color, right? Yep, color. Okay, so what's women get? A fist of it. What do men get? 2 fists. Yes, your husband should be eating more than you. Hello, they're men. All right? I always tell, what do I always say around here to Scott? I'm like, you know what? We don't got to eat this damn much. We're not digging ditches. Right? I say that all the time around here. I'm like, we got to cut back. All right, fat. Female, male. Thumb, tip of a thumb, they say. Men, it can be the entire thumb. And here's what I'm going to tell you. On this program, if you're eating a little more fat, the healthy fats, fat is not going to make you fat. Usually when people start eating more fat, they lose more fat. Fat is the same as water is to people. Do you know that when you're dehydrated, you get swollen? You guys know that, right? You get puffy. Like if you take your socks off and there's marks. That's because you're dehydrated. Some people say, well, I can't drink any more water because I'm already retaining water. Well, the reason you're retaining water is your body says, you're not drinking enough, so I'm going to hold on to what I got. And so your body goes like this on lockdown, and it holds on to all that water, and then you get poofy, right? And you're retaining water. But if you drink enough water, if you flush it, all of a sudden you lose all that bloat, all that water retention, the lines quit going on the legs, and like you're like, wow, I drank more water. So it's the opposite of what we think, right? The same principle for fat. When we're not eating enough healthy fats, our bodies hang on to the bad fat. I'm not letting it go. I might need this for fuel later on, right? So if you're eating enough of the good fats, Scott, how much fat do I eat in a day?
Like by the spoonful.
Spoonfuls of
I'm not
coconut oil.
I do, don't I, Scott?
Coconut butter, yeah.
Coconut butter. I mean, I go like 3 times a day at least. I'm over there like just talking to Scott eating coconut butter out of the thing. I mean, I eat so much fat. It's awesome. My cholesterol is 120, by the way. Anyway, so fat is not causing us to have high cholesterol. Fast food is, and stress is what's causing high cholesterol in our country, for those of you that don't know that. Eggs, by the way, do not cause high cholesterol. They came back out now full circle and they said, oh, by the way, we were wrong about that. Eggs are actually good for you. Surprise, surprise. Thank you guys. All right, so you guys got it? Protein palm, fat thumb. I always say fat is good. That's how you can remember fat is good. And then your carbohydrates or your living color is right there. And then if you really can't remember what the proteins are, they give you a beautiful list. I actually made one guy, he was a home builder, he lost 21 pounds week 1 of his detox. It's the most I've seen on anybody. Week 1, he didn't even do it for 2 weeks. Week 1, he lost 21 pounds. Isn't that nuts? And he wasn't a big guy. He's like 220 to start with. But when you look at this, I actually gave him a highlighter, and I made him highlight it. I said, what do you like? Highlight what you like. And so he left my house, and I said, now go to Cash Buys and go to Target and pick up the things you highlighted. He's like, okay. And so he went and did that. And guess what? He lost 21 pounds. I'm like, it's not hard, right? So pick a protein, pick a fat, avocado. So what are fats? We didn't get to the fats. Avocado,
Nuts.
any kind of nuts. In the olden days, we used to think of nuts as a protein. Remember when people say peanut butter is a protein? It's an incomplete protein. That means it doesn't have all of our essential amino acids for muscle development. So it's not a true protein if we're trying to gain lean muscle. But it's between that and nothing, do that, please. Okay, but let's try to get with complete proteins, which are usually come from animal products or animal byproducts. Fish, beef, eggs. That type of stuff is always going to be a complete protein for muscle development, okay? So the fats, again, are going to be flax seeds, chia seeds. I put them in everything. Hemp seed. Oh, my gosh, I love it. What else? Butter, coconut oil, any kind of nut, preferably raw nuts is best. The biggest thing I learned, I've been doing this for 20 years, been doing this program now for about a year and a half. The biggest thing I've learned from this, is we eat way too much damn salt. Like, we're only supposed to be consuming 250 milligrams of sodium per meal. And I'm not the gal that takes out the white salt and shakes it like this. I'm not that cook. I mean, I'm like tight in this house. But what I realized is an egg, just an egg, has 70 milligrams of sodium already. A chicken breast, I just had this great this doctor in town start, and I went down to her house, and she goes, Renita, look at what I got all this stuff from Sam's Club. I'm like, awesome. And I opened it up, I'm like, let's look at it. And I was looking at it, and I pulled out her bag of chicken breast, and in one of her chicken breasts from Sam's Club, the sodium in one breast, I want to say I think it was 400 or 420 milligrams.
Is that because they add it?
A lot of times it's added or injected, but I'll be honest, a lot of animal products naturally have sodium because what does a cow lick? A salt block, right?
Preservative.
It's a preservative. Salt is a preservative in a lot of things that we're feeding the animals, and when we're eating the animals, we're actually eating the flesh or the byproducts of a dead animal or whatever, you know what I mean? So there's always going to be sodium generally in those animal byproducts or animal products. Meat especially. Most meats have some sodium in them. So when you look at it, if you have a meat that has 400 milligrams of sodium, or you can buy bear chicken breasts that have, what do they have, 150? I always buy Trader Joe's.
I usually buy the bear too, but I don't think I've ever looked at
Bear is much lower. I think it's 180 or 150 or 180 per serving. And so you look 400 or 180, which one do you want to buy? 250 milligrams of sodium 7 times a day is what you get. Okay? Think about that. That was the biggest thing for me. That was huge. I mean, because I was the gal that I need the protein. I want to keep my lean muscle. And so then I'd go to the barbecue and I'm like, I'll take 2 of those chicken nitrate-free hot dogs. And then I'd eat 2 of them. And then when I learned this, I looked at and I wouldn't have a bun because I never eat bread because I'm gluten sensitive. But I would look at the back. I'm like, there's freaking 900 milligrams of sodium in one dog. I just ate 2. 1,800 milligrams! I'm only supposed to have 250. Like, it was like eye-opening for me. Like, that's the biggest thing. And so many of us, not only do we consume that, we salt our food yet. We go to the restaurants and these people salting their food. I gasp now when they do that. So what you want to do is you want to get conscious of that and look at what you're putting with that, and just that will maintain your leanness. I always say if you just eat 250 milligrams of sodium, not only will your blood pressure go down and your cholesterol go down, you'll probably be able to climb into a bikini at any given moment. Because you're just lean all the time. You just live like that with a six-pack because you know what? You're not carrying around all that extra bloat and sodium and water retention from all that sodium. And plus our heart functions on a sodium-potassium balance. So we always want that to be rocking and rolling. Do you want to say something?
Underneath the proteins, it's okay to eat beef, pork.
After week 1, you can eat beef. After week 1, detox week, you can have beef. Beef is one of the harder proteins for our bodies to break down. So you can't have it week 1, but you can have it weeks 2 through 8.
And no shellfish week 1, correct?
Pork is not on the list at all. So I quit eating pork lots of years ago, but like we don't eat pork in our house. But like some people do. I would not eat it because it's not on the list. This is just how I am. I'm like, it's not on the list, so just don't eat pork for a while. Okay?
What about shellfish, Renita?
Shellfish is okay. Not during week 1, you shouldn't do that. Okay. You know? But after you get going, any kind of fish is going to be great, really, and especially if it's steamed fish. You know what I mean? If you're adding a bunch of salt to make your fish taste good, not so good for the home team. Okay? Stay away from the salt eating. Suggested, okay, so you guys saw that. Detox, you guys understand all that. That's really it. You know what I tell people? Go home and print out these 4 pages and put them on the number 2 and 3 on your refrigerator. And after your detox is over, rip those 2 sheets down, print out the 2 pages for Ignite, put those bad boys up on the refrigerator. Now you're just following that. And sometimes I even tell people, take this thing and put it on the refrigerator. This is a good reminder for you that you always want your body to be completely balanced and right there with your blood sugar. And I'm telling you what, you know, you don't even have to sell this program. Everybody's buying something right now. I said this to you guys. Everybody in the country is buying something right now. You know why? They all will rate over the holiday season. 7 to 11 pounds, that's the average weight gain. Everybody's buying something. They're going to GNC. The fat laser commercials you see on TV that I vomit in my mouth when I see them. That is, people are going in and paying thousands of dollars for that. Burn your fat away. Suck your fat away. Like, it's nuts what people spend their money on. And they just have bought into this diet industry where the diet industry is a $1 trillion industry. For every diet you're on, it's set up to fail you so that you go on the next diet. This is not a diet. This is a way of life, and this is straight science of how God created our bodies. We learned this like in biology. Like how many of you ever had a baby? Raise your hand. How many of you were a baby? Raise your hand. So when you were a baby and you take your baby into the well baby check, you remember, like they say, what's your baby eating and how often? How much is your baby eating and how often? That's the 2 questions they ask. And that's the number 1 concern is your blood sugar regulation and stabilization, because that's where a baby functions optimally, right? If they say, well, my baby's only eating twice a day and it's really not that much, what are they gonna say? Oh my gosh, like we gotta figure this out. With us, somewhere along the way, I always say about 5, we watched our mom start dieting, and then we think, geez, I gotta start dieting, or I gotta cut calories, or I gotta stop eating at 5. Can you imagine if you quit feeding a baby at 5? How would that baby be by 9? Screaming its face off. How are some of you? Screaming your face off, okay? So what you want to do is, and another big thing, I always tell people when your weight gets stagnant, one of the best things you can do is eat right before you go to bed. And I'm not talking like a bowl of cereal, okay? Because that would be a carbohydrate. But have a hard-boiled egg. Have some Greek yogurt when you're done with the 8 weeks. Have a half of a chicken breast. Have a shake. Where's my husband? Can you tell Scott to make some shakes? Tell him we need some shakes. Like, these people are thirsty, and bring up the energy drinks. We need some energy in the room, okay? Anyway, you guys can sample that stuff.
How many and what kind?
We want vanilla. I want pineapple vanilla and pumpkin, because that's still that season for pumpkin. And can you bring up the energy drinks?
How many?
Oh, bring up the cans, we'll pour shots. Can you grab that? Margaret, can you help him? Yeah, you just grab the cans, run them out. Okay, so do you guys understand all this? What do you have questions on? Go.
Can I just share what we went through with my sister?
Yeah.
This is my baby sister.
What is she gonna say about me? What is she gonna say about me?
My baby sister, and she's like, they run. Her family runs. My
Her daughter's an 11-time state champion.
So everything I follow, I listen to her, so I'd follow along and be like, ah. So I drug her with us, and we went to Renitas, and we started on everything. She ran in U.S. Marine Corps Marathon 26.2 miles in Washington, D.C.
Awesome.
She came back, she made it. Well, before she was getting ready to train, we did some of the Montague because she was getting achy and stuff, and it actually helped her through some of that. She still wouldn't buy in or come. Anyway, she did come up into a class with Renita, and we did the PFC, and we were doing all that stuff. We got 1 week into the detox, and she did it. She came back and lost a person, lost
Yeah,
inches,
she lost more inches than you did that week, right?
Yep.
She
And
lost, what did you lose? How much?
weight?
By 6 pounds and then.
And she's a little thing, she's 4'11".
17 and a half
Yeah, it was
inches.
17 and a half
So
inches.
on
under.
her, you
In my
could
stomach
tell.
alone, 5
Oh, and
point
can you show them the picture or not show them the picture?
Show him the picture.
Show 'em the picture.
Well, because I was so proud of her, I was like, oh my God, you ran like that? I mean, seriously, she
You ran with all that fat on the
had
belly.
all that extra weight on her.
And she was skinny though, I mean,
And
you
she
know
was
what I mean?
small.
She
To me,
was.
she's
small.
tiny.
Yeah,
But for her,
I
this.
don't know if you can.
let me see, can I somehow plug that in my thing?
Yeah, you can take that
But
case
for
off and leave
her
it.
to say it, and for us, we always say, you turn around and the women have the back, we always say we have puppy sides.
Maybe I
Right.
can't do it.
She was working her butt off 24/7.
Oh, take the case off.
In her
How do I
basement
get it
and
out?
doing
Slide
all
it out.
these extra work. All this extra work and doing extra things, and she couldn't get rid of
You guys
it.
have gotta see this picture.
doing
It's on,
sit-ups
when I
and
saw it, I'm
push-ups
like,
and
yep. Okay.
sit-ups and push-ups, and what was the workout thing you were doing in your basement?
Hit exercise.
She was trying everything under the sun, and she eats healthy anyway. Well, come to find out, she wasn't eating the way she should have been, and the 1 week,
Can you see it?
Yeah.
the difference that she lost, it sold her, and I was like amazed.
Isn't that awesome?
And she
Amazed.
weighed like, I mean,
She's
her
little,
weight
she
was
weighs
just little,
114
and
pounds, yeah.
17 and a half
She's
inches.
teeny tiny, but it, it's all relative to you. You know what I mean? So don't feel like I have to get to someone
Right.
else's because that's
Right.
what they're.
Yep.
It's all yourself. You want to be your best self, right? And so
Right.
whatever weight that is and how you feel. And sometimes it's not a number because I always say to women, we are so much more than a number on a scale, right? But you know what it is? It's all the scale does and all the measurements do, and my willingness to do that for you is because you know what? It gives you direction of where you need to go, right? If you don't know where you're starting, you don't know where you're going. Some people say, I don't want to be weighed and measured. I don't want anybody to see that. I'm like, get in the game. You want as much accountability and support as you can get. And if you guys have not joined the Core Community Facebook page, join that bad boy. Like sometimes I say to Scott, go and look at the Core Community Facebook page and see what everybody's making for food so we can make it.
Yep.
You made me cauliflower pizza one time from that. It was so awesome. It is so awesome. So I encourage you, if you need that support, that's there. Usually we have weekly meetings here. You can always come to be